Here's a tutorial on how to add new music in the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So in case you haven't seen my video, I went over how to replace songs in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. However, some people might want to keep the vanilla music, or maybe you're like me and you're almost running out of music to replace, so you want to add new songs into the game, which is entirely possible thanks to this program called Smash 5 Music. You're going to want to download it from this GitHub page, which I'll obviously leave in the description. Once you have Smash 5 Music downloaded, just extract the files. Now for this tutorial, I have a tutorial folder because I already actually have Smash 5 Music installed. I'll be going over how to actually use the program. So before you open Smash 5 Music, you have to give it a bunch of resource files. You can find the resource files on this page right here, which is in a Dropbox. Just be sure to download all of them. Once it's downloaded, I recommend just putting the zip file in this folder, and now you'll have a resources folder. Just drag and copy and paste all of these files. Feel free to replace the ones that come with the program. These ones will overwrite them and become usable with the editor. Okay, now that we've finished setting up the program, now you can open Smash 5 Music. If everything went right, you should be greeted with this screen right here. This is the Smash 5 Music interface. Now what I would recommend doing is checking Core. This will give you a list of every song that's in the game in case you wish to edit the vanilla songs from here. It works with version 13.0 of the game, but as of recording, version 13.01 is the latest version, and it should still work with 13.02 as well, but here are every song in the game. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is go to Manage and create a mod. It can be whatever you want. I usually just call it something like Test Mod or First Mod. Just create that. Now you should have a mod pack to put your music into. Now what you can do is import songs to First Mod. Now, you're going to need a song that you can use that's compatible with Smash. I recommend using an NUS3 audio, as that's the music file that Smash Ultimate uses. If you want to learn how to make NUS3 audios, you can go watch my video on how to replace music for Smash Ultimate. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you already know how to make NUS3 audios. After you've created your mod, what you can do is locate an NUS3 audio that you have. What I recommend doing is you rename it. Now, for example, I always call mine minus and a number. So for example, we could say -10, and then you'd go underscore, and then you can name it whatever. Let's just say -10 test. Add that to your editor. Now the reason why you don't want to include BGM at the front of it is because Smash 5 Music will by default add the BGM underscore prefix to all of your song titles. So just feel free to name it something like this so that it'll be consistent with the rest of the game. And once you're done, it'll open up this menu. Now depending on which game your music is from, you can choose to either choose an existing game, or you can decide to create a new game. Let's say that my game is from Mega Man X8 as a good example. There's a bunch of series you can pick from, Mega Man being one of them, so just pick the series that the game goes from, and then select Mega Man X8. I already have it, but I was just using it as a demonstration. For record type, usually you're probably going to pick original, but if it's a remix of a song, you can pick remix or new remix, it doesn't really matter. You can choose the song title, so we'll just call it Mega Man X8 song. Author, you can pick the author of the song. And, same goes for copyright, whatever the copyright is. You don't have to, but it would look more authentic if you did. By default, every song is 2.7 decibels, but if you feel like the song is either too loud or too quiet, you can change it here in this editor. Thankfully, since it's in editor and you have the music files on hand, you thankfully won't have to mess around with NUS3 banks. as the editor will create them for you. Now when you're done, just hit Save Changes, and it'll show up in your editor. It'll probably be at the bottom, but you can readjust it. Now, there's this sound test thing over here. If you add a new game, it'll most likely go to the bottom of the list. The way you can do is you can drag it, and you can choose to merge it with an existing series. So for example, if my song's from Mega Man, I'll add it to the Mega Man category, which means that when you go to the sound test and you're playing on, say, Battlefield, and you have the all songs toggleable, you can pick from the Mega Man series, and that new Mega Man song you added will show up there. There's another feature that you can do with Smash 5 Music. You can also edit pre-existing songs. Let's say that you've replaced a song and you forgot to change the title of it in the MSBT editor. You can actually change the title of the song here. And if it's also from a different game, you can also change the game. So let's say that I replaced a Mario song, and it's not actually from Super Mario Bros., it's from Super Mario Odyssey. You can actually change which game the music comes from in the editor itself. And when you have a look, you'll see that it changed to Mario Odyssey. And when you output your project, in-game, it'll actually display as Mario Odyssey. So that's another helpful thing you can do. A very cool feature that Smash 5 Music lets you do, that I didn't point out yet, is the special category. By default, most songs will say none/other. However, you can choose to do pinch songs. Now, pinch songs is basically like the Street Fighter thing. When you're on your last stock or time's about to run out, the music will change to a faster version. You can theoretically do this for every single song in the game, and what'll happen is, when you're on your last stock, you can actually make something like a Mario song turn into a more intense Mario song. However, you'll have to provide the song title, the info, so you'll have to give it the title of the song. If you want to add a new pinch song, what I recommend doing is adding a song that you wish. So we can use that Mega Man song as an example. Now, for example, it's called -10 test. So let's say that, I don't know, I want to make Mega Man Shooting Star have a pinch song, right? So what I can do is I can type in -10 test. And if you save that, now what will happen is when you're on your last stock and you're playing the song Shooting Star, it'll actually change to this new song that you added. So you can actually add pinch versions to pre-existing songs too. I'll also go over the playlist section. Now, let's say that there are certain stages that you want certain music to play on. For example, let's just say Mushroom Kingdom as an example. And I don't know, maybe for some weird reason you want Punch-Out music on that stage. You can add songs to any stage in the game. In theory, if you had the patience, you could put every single song from the game on every single stage. But I have not tested that out. I don't know if it actually works, but it's technically a possibility, and you could basically have every stage be like Battlefield and play any song in the game. Now, there is another feature I'd like to show off. A great thing about this is you can also edit your main menu. So the menu music. Let's say you're getting sick of, the Smash Bros. Menu music, and you want something cool on your menu. You could have it play Snake Eater on your main menu. You just jack up that slider. So if you're getting sick of, listening to Lifelight all the time, or the Melee menu theme, and you want to listen to Snake Eater on the menu, you can choose to do that too. You can also add any song from the game to your main menu. And that also includes new songs that you add into the game as well. This is probably the most harmless addition, and it's just a very overall nice thing to have. In another video, I'll be going over how to add new series into the game, as that's a whole bunch of other steps that you have to go through. So I won't go over it here, but if you want to add new music into the game and not over pre-existing songs, this is how you do it. And once you're done, just select build and wait for it to finish. Okay, and once that's done, you're going to want to go to the folder called Arc Output, and you'll see these three folders in here. if you're playing modded Smash already, you should have a folder that you're keeping all of these folders in. You should have a sound, stream, and UI folder. And if not, feel free to drag these into your mod folder on your SD card. Now, there is one thing I do have to mention. I recommend deleting this UI stage DB file if you have a custom stage select screen, because this will overwrite your stage select, which I don't recommend using that file, because I've had so many times where that file overwrote my stage select screen and I had to redo it over again. So delete that file, keep these three, and you'll be perfectly fine. The message files, it contains all of the MSBTs. The main one you'll be using is probably going to be USEN, but if you don't speak English or you have other languages that you use, these will probably come in handy, but I only use English, so that's all you need. Stream, obviously, this will contain your song. Depending on how many songs you have in your pack, you'll have a bunch of NUS3 audios and NUS3 banks. And lastly, there's the sound config bgmproperty.bin. The bgmproperty.bin is the file that tells the game that there's pinch songs on certain songs. Now, if you don't include this file and you have a new pinch song in the game, your game will crash. So you're going to want to make extra sure that you have this bgmproperty.bin on your SD card. But just put all those in your mod folder, and you'll now have new songs in Smash Ultimate. One more thing I should point out, though, is that other people that you play with, they'll not be able to hear the music that you've picked. So if you add new songs into the game, on their side of the game, it'll just be mute. There'll be no music on their end. So just keep that in mind if you're deciding to play online. And if your friends don't mind that, then, you know, that's okay. And also, don't use it in Quick Play because you'll probably get banned. But that should be pretty self-explanatory. It's safe in arenas with friends, but not on Quick Play with randos, because they'll know something is up. So, have fun adding new music into the game, and I'll make another tutorial on how to add new series. So, until then.